my philosophies, and they're really simple ones. The first one I love. I work in academia, and I think too many times in academia we confuse things. We come up with wonderful theories that are so complex, which mean bugger all, apart from to the individuals who work with them. And we have a system which rewards us in universities. We have something called the research assessment exercise. And the essence of that is we have to publish in certain key journals. And journals have a point system. And if you get into a highly rated journal, that's great, and you get points, and you get points means prizes. But one of the markers is that, you know, how many times your colleagues also reference your article. And you get prizes for that. And it's almost like, you know, when I go and talk to practitioners and I say, right, in a big audience, say 200 people, how many people use the information that's published in the journals? What journals? You know, how many people actually use it to inform practice? We don't read it. You know, we're not in academia. And yet, we get paid to publish stuff that says this is what you should do. It forms an evidence base, which, as I'll show you later, influences the funding that sets your practice. And you're disconnected from it. And it's like, that's crazy. But nobody ever complains. And for me, it's because you don't understand the rules of the game. And that's the essence of what I want to cover today. If you think you can or you think you can't, that's it. So leadership really isn't a skill. For me, it's stepping in and having a belief about things. And if you see yourself as a leader, others will see you as leaders. And I'm always interested, if you look in stressful situations, you know, people emerge as natural leaders. And when interviewed later on the TV, oh, I never knew I had it in me. I didn't think I'd be able to do it. Yet when placed in a situation where they didn't consciously think, connected with their unconscious, they excelled. We don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. And that's a very important distinction. So my view of what's happening in this room right now is completely different from all of yours. I'd be interested in seeing what yours are. But, you know, I think that's something I want you to hold as we go throughout the day. That the perceptions we have. So the question I posed was getting you to think about some problems. Having looked at some of the stuff that was presented, it'd be really interesting if we just spent a day just talking about the problems, because as soon as you talk to the problem with someone else, you know, is it a problem for them? And it's really interesting how you can set a conversation up. And I was away on a course over the weekend, and there was a little murmur started from one click in the course. Somebody said, we didn't like that presentation, we didn't like that presenter. And it starts to build as a crescendo. And they pose it out, and the question is always like, what did you think? And it's one of those open questions which sort of says, you know, we're not saying we didn't like, but the intonation is there. And then you can see people go like a pack of dominoes. You know, and it's like, oh, we didn't. And then it all builds, and we're focused on problems. Whereas you can reverse that quite quickly, and I threw something in which got people saying, oh, I didn't think of it like that. Well, actually, that presented, yeah. No, now I see it from a different point of view. It's not a problem. So I think it's a really important thing that, that we can do.